Prashant. So in this video I'll be discussing a bit about the Canadian immigration through the express entry. So let me get one thing very straight. You don't need an immigration consultant to process your application. Anyone who can read and write English and has a bit of patience can process their application of their own. So I'll come straight to the point. To apply for the immigration through express entry, it's a three-stage process where you need to create an express entry profile. Then you will be considered into the express entry pool. Then the second step, you will be getting an invitation to apply. Third stage, you will be submitting your passport. You will get the visa stamping. Yeah, so that's all you need to do. After getting the visa, you're all set to land in Canada. Though I mentioned it very easy, it involves a bit of documentation. So I'll just walk you through how to do it. The first step, express entry profile creation. To create an express entry profile, you should have two documents ready. One is your English testing score. The second one, educational credential assessment. English testing score, you can have either CELPIP or IELTS general training. CELPIP is comparatively easier than IELTS. It's just the opinion from my friends what I have. But the thing is that not everyone can give the CELPIP exam because it has limited test centers. There are few test centers available in Middle East, Philippines, and of course in Canada. The best option I would say, go like for IELTS. They have multiple test centers throughout the world. IELTS, there are two modules, two type of testing system. One is for the academic, that is for the student visa. For those people who are applying through express entry for FSW, you should be going with the IELTS general training. So how to prepare for IELTS, like I'll consider making a video based on, I'm not from an English speaking country, so definitely that you would have realized by now. So I'll try to make a video on that. So the next thing what you need is a educational credential assessment. Educational credential assessment or ECA is nothing but getting your foreign qualification evaluated for the Canadian equivalency. So there are two various organizations that mainly does the job for you. One is University of Toronto. The other one is WES or World Education Service. Both of them charge around $300. The procedure is very simple. You need to make an account with them. My personal take would be WES. No offense to University of Toronto. I know they are doing an amazing job. But WS is something that I did my application, and I also assisted few of my friends to do their paperwork. I was giving them guidance. So WS response was pretty good. So basically you need to create an account with WS, which includes feeding in your some name details, mail ID and those things, and your course information. Then you have to send a copy of your degree certificate, your education qualification copy, not at all originals, to WS. You should also request your university to send the copy of your transcript or combined mark sheet to WS. That's all of it. You can just search in their website. They have a very detailed description about how to do the documents, and country to country it slightly varies. Pretty much this is the procedure. You need to send a couple of copies. You need to create an account. You need to send your copies directly to WS. You should request your organization. When I say your organization, it's the university, not the college that you studied in. The university should send the transcript or mark sheet to WS Canada. So they will be doing the process, and they will be issuing you a equivalency certificate. So that's all about the ECA. The first thing I mentioned, IELTS. You should have these two ready with you to create the express entry profile. At the time of creation of express entry profile, you are not paying any fee. That means you are just logging in to create an express entry profile. You're feeding your basic information, which includes your personal information on things like your age, your marital status, your passport details, Then it also includes your information regarding your employment, your qualification, and it also asks you for how much money you are bringing to Canada. That's a tricky one. Sometimes people try to be so honest or something. So you should look at the actual requirement for a family so that's given under proof of fund. You can just check for Canadian Express Entry proof of fund online. It will give you the financial requirement, that the amount that you should be showing that you are carrying to Canada. So sometimes when people try to make, they just put some random amount, so sometimes it won't qualify. So you should look at that amount to get it qualified. So I'll be explaining a bit on how to produce that document. So to create Express Entry profile, these are the information that you need. You need to feed in this data. So a point will be calculated based on your credentials. So that point system is called a comprehensive ranking system, or CRS. So a CRS score would be generated for you. So the current rating score is in some 440. So if you have a score somewhere to that range, you're all good. Another few contributing factors in getting a better CRS score would be whether you have a blood relative here. So they also put who can be considered as a relative. Another option is having a valid job offer from Canada. I'll explain a bit about having a valid job offer from Canada and its possibilities and technical issues in getting it. Another one is provincial nomination, or PNP. I'll explain about those things later. So getting a provincial nomination and getting a job offer, it's not as easy as the consultants generally tell you. So keeping that aside, so now you are with a CRS point, then now you are all good to enter the Express Entry pool. So as I mentioned, you didn't make any payment at this point. Second stage is like every month the Canadian immigration make draws, Express Entry draws. So it can be 1 or 2 in a month based on their requirement. So this is a merit based system. So you can't exactly say getting 440 or 448 or 450 qualify you. It depends upon at the time of the draw how many people are in the that pool with so the people with the maximum score will get the draw. Say an example, I can say in a month they are considering, in a draw they are considering 1700 people to be given invitation to apply. By going all the way to 448, they could make 1700 people. The cutoff would be 448 for that draw. Next draw, say like there are more people coming into the pool with better score. Maybe by coming to 454, they could get another maybe 2000 people in that. So basically what I mean to say, it is not a first in first out system. It is completely a merit system and depends upon that your score at the point of draw. Saying that, once you get that invitation to apply, you would be given 90 days to provide your documents. Another thing what you should consider is when you created the Express Entry profile, nobody verified. I mean, the Canadian immigration officers are not verifying your information at that point. So even if there is a a misrepresentation, you could possibly get your candidature cancelled. So you should be very vigilant when you. So that's what I was mentioning. Your application should be truthful. So then after you get the invitation to apply, you are given 90 days time where you need to upload those documents in this portal. For that will be, they will be providing with the invitation to apply, they will be providing a list of documents that you need to upload to the portal. So the main ones would be your work experience. Then you need to show your proof of fund. You will need to provide your passport copies. You will need to provide your educational qualifications and those information. So it's not so complex. And on top of it, you will be asked to do a medical and a police clearance certificate. For people in India, I would recommend you to get the police clearance certificate from Passport Seva Kendra. Though in the website they have mentioned SP office, but Passport Seva Kendra would be the easiest option for you, and it costs you around 500 Indian rupees. For other countries, guys, like, you need to figure it out. So, and for the medical test, somebody with a bit of blood pressure or diabetics, you don't need to worry. It's basically they are looking at whether you are having any contagious diseases or any sexually STDs or TB, those kind of things. So don't worry if you having a bit of ill health, you're perfectly fine for that. So you need to provide that at time of my visa application. That medical need to be provided upfront. When I say upfront, at the time within this 90 days, you need to complete the medical, and the registered medical practitioner will be sending the copy of your medical test directly to the Canadian immigration. So you can actually figure out which are the hospitals which are approved to conduct your medical test. So that's also given in their website for each country and each province or each state, which are the hospitals or medical practitioners who are authorized to do this work for you. So these are the document requirement after getting your invitation to apply. Then next process, at this point, with this documents submission, you need to provide you need to pay bit of fee. So there is a fee of 490 and there is another fee of 550. 490, I believe that's a processing fee that is not refunded, and the next fee 550 is for the PR fee. So that amount, if you are not getting eligible at a later stage, if they make a decision that you will not be issued with a PR, then that amount will be returned to you. You can either make this payment in a single payment, both the fee can be made in a single payment, or you can pay that permanent resident fee at a later date. You don't really need to worry. It could possibly delay only for some 6 to 7 days in case if you decide to make the payment at a later date. So my personal take would be you can even consider paying it in 2 installment, the 550 at a later date, because when they request you for the next payment, it gives you an indication that your application is in a good state. That's one tricky area of this immigration process, because it's very lengthy, and once you submit your documents, you don't really get the updates on it. So that's a time of curiosity and anxiety whether you're going to get it through or not. So maybe you can consider doing that. So basically you need to make a payment. So that's all the cost that incurs with the Canadian immigration. Just think about the money that consultants are charging you. Then they'll be requesting you for your passport. You need to submit your passport to the authorized senders. In India, I know it's processed with the VFS. You need to submit your passport with the address that you need to deliver the passport after getting it stamped with the visa. The VFS office would be, these visa senders would be sending the documents to the visa offices. They will process and they will be issuing you the PR permanent resident visa. The validity, that's another tricky question that people used to ask, like how much time I get. So at the time when I was processing my application, it's basically the 1 year from your medical. So your medical test is valid for 1 year. So from that time, within 1 year, you need to make the landing in Canada. So don't worry in case if it got delayed for some other reason. The immigration officers are really, they should. Even if it's for a genuine reason, if you happen to get delayed further, you can inform them. So that's another request I have. In case if you are having any change in those credentials that you provided for your CRS point, just keep the CIC informed about it. They are very much understanding, and they will be providing you with the further guidances. So that's all about the immigration process. It's not so complex. I'll try to do videos on the each individual documentations. So another thing I want to tell all of your friends is a few of them have received offer letters from the Canadian employers here sitting in a foreign employers here, where the candidates are sitting in another country, you should consider two aspects of it. One, I would say the technical, and other one is the logical or with the common sense. These guys, like what they told their experience was they saw some job application on the, job notification on some website. They just filled some questionnaires, and very next day they got an email saying that they have been selected for this particular role with a handsome salary and a visa. Another few people I had experience where in LinkedIn and stuff we see people saying that, hey, whoever interested in Canada, put like, comment, then I'll be contacting you. So what actually happens is they know that you are looking for an immigration, so they might they're basically trying to scam you. So understand that fact. Even in your home country, to get a decent job, you would have definitely undergone 2 to 3 rounds of interviews. So from where these people who are not even seen you, with whom you never interacted, they don't know how you are, you don't know how they are, you just you filled some questionnaires online, and one fine day you have been issued with a offer letter. So you should apply your common sense, like how this can happen. So what these people are doing, they can see your profile from LinkedIn, and I've seen few of them where they have used the real people credentials and signature and stuff in this document, so that even what happens when you get an offer letter from somebody, you might look for the name on LinkedIn, you see that, oh, this person really exists, so you think that it's genuine. So apply some common sense. And the technical aspect of it in Canada, for a foreign employer, for an employer to bring in a foreign manpower, they need to do a LMIA. LMIA, you can even search for that. I'll try providing the link for all this information what I'm saying. Labor market impact assessment, which is something like they need to prove or justify bringing in the foreign manpower, which involves notifying the newspapers, notifying in the job bank, and they should make sure that there is no certain manpower available as a PR or as an immigrant in Canada. That's the reason they are bringing in a manpower from outside. So which involves money and a lot of time. So you should think, why should an employer should do that? And on reality, every year there are tons of immigrants coming to this country. Legal immigrants coming to this country with required good qualification. And the universities, every year there are a number of people getting graduated from universities with a good training and some work experience, because most of the university programs has a co-op where they are getting the industry exposure as well. So the possibility of you getting a job offer sitting in a different country, it's very minimal. Most of them are scams. You should really be aware of all this. So that's something like, don't get fooled. Be logical, do some research. So that's all about it. So I'm considering preparing some few more videos on it. This is like I've been answering these similar questions to my friends, colleagues, and relatives. So I thought it's a one-time effort to make a video on it. So maybe like it could be useful to some people. In short, you don't really need an immigration consultant. The entire cost of the immigration process would be 490 plus 550 plus 300 for your immigration plus 300 for your IELTS. English testing. This is the cost. And there is no point in asking your friend who is in Canada, hey man, can you arrange a job for me? Practically it is impossible for him as well. That's a reality. And yeah, that's all about it. Like, I'll consider subscribing, because I'm planning to make a few more videos, just looking at the response from this particular one. Thank you everyone. Good luck with your visa process. Bye.